everyone, welcome to another episode of the Wild Knits podcast. Hi everybody, welcome back to the podcast. It has been such a long time. I know, I'm sorry, there was no video in December. December was crazy, it has come and gone, and thank God it's gone. Honest to God, it was such a hectic, stressful month, and I'm glad it's gone. I love Christmas, love everything about it, all the decorations, the films, the traditions, especially now having a baby. But oh my god, this year it was absolutely mad, and there was no Christmas spirit in this house. Nothing. I had a big exam coming up, so I had to use the time to prepare, so literally every free minute was spent revising, going through stuff again over the entire Christmas period, all of New Year's. It was a lot, and it dropped all my Christmas cheer. And then also we were traveling over Christmas to see our family in Germany, so traveling with a child, oh my god, very stressful. All the planning, all the seeing of family. We couldn't even enjoy Christmas Eve, which is Christmas in Germany, because we had to go around so many people. So yeah, I am glad this time is over and we're back in the new year. We've got a new bullet journal going, we set intentions, we are going to get shit done this year. And with that comes the idea behind this video, which is to set certain goals for knitting and knit certain things that I know I'm gonna need. I've been going through my wardrobe, having a look, where are the gaps, what do I need, and I've made a list of things that I would like to knit based on that. Now, what I also wanted to say is that I am trying really hard, as much as I love her, to move away from only knitting things from PetiteKnit. My stuff is super heavy on PetiteKnit patterns, and it's just, I think like everybody, we just love the timeless classic sheet designs. The constructions are really interesting. I think I learned a lot from her patterns. The patterns are so well written, very easy to follow, and I think it's just like a little hole that you get sucked in, and her Instagram is just so pretty and it's full of things, and she's always posting, and everybody else is always doing her stuff. So I think there's like a little section hole that we all kind of are in, that's called PetiteKnit. But there's so many other great designers out there, and I think giving them a bit of a chance and shining a bit of light on them and being open for new things is really important. So I've made this list in mind with other designers and trying to broaden my repertoire a little bit. And I think it's also going to be a great learning experience. Lots of the designs I picked are based on different stitches that I haven't tried yet, different ways of constructing garments that I haven't done before. So it's gonna be really interesting to see and sort of broaden my techniques a bit as well with them. So not just picked on what would go well with my wardrobe right now, but also things that'd be interesting to learn to do and make. And then hopefully moving away from using one designer, reading one type of patterns all the time. I think it's really interesting and helpful if you want to design your own stuff, to read patterns from loads of different designers to see what they do well, what they maybe don't do that well, what you can do differently. So I think also from that point of view, it's interesting and important to dive out into different designers. So with that in mind, here is the list of everything that I want to knit in 2023. Alright, I made a list on my phone. Okay, how about we start off easy. Let's start off with the accessories, which is probably the biggest list. But accessories are usually quick to do, and so I thought of a few things that I would really like. Top of the list, socks. So I'll always insert pictures of what I'm talking about on this side. I definitely need more handmade socks. I've got one pair so far. I've got one pair that's completely been destroyed by me. It was the Sunday socks by PetiteKnit, and I've darned them 3 times I think, but now they're just so full of holes. I think there's no turning back. So I just need to make them again, but with a more sturdy type of wool. I made them in the recommended proven Highland wool, from Filcolana, and they're not made for walking, they're made for sleep with them or wear them around the house, but not wear them in your shoes and walk about. So make more socks with sturdier yarn. And I have looked at some patterns for that. One of the patterns that I want to use is the Seas socks from this book here. It's the Urban Knit book from Leeni Hoimela, if I'm pronouncing that right. And it's just a beautiful, really intricate looking, but I think very simple sock design. And I've got some yarn that I bought a while back, which I think would be so nice to use with these socks. And I think they're gonna be simple to make, I'm pretty sure, but they look a bit elevated. So I thought those ones would be lovely to have. And then also her Pisara socks, which have got a really nice sort of trim around the top that looks detailed and intricate, and then a fairly easy rest of the sock, which again I think is going to be quick to make, and it's just that little bit extra, that little bit of elevation. And like I said, I mainly want them for around the house, but also to wear in boots, because I have a couple of boots that are a size too big, but bought like that with intention to have to be able to wear with socks to be more warm. So socks are at the top of my list, kind of really as many as I can get, because I love warm socks around the house. I wear my Hawkins socks all the time. I've got them on right now. And yeah, I don't think you can have too many pairs of socks. Maybe there's a bit of time for more Sunday socks again from PetiteKnit, but we'll see. So the next thing on my list is a shawl. I want a nice big long woolly warm shawl to wrap around my shoulders on those summer nights when it's getting colder and you don't want to wear a cardigan or bring that around with you, but something pretty that wraps around a dress nicely. I'm looking for something like that. There's two patterns that I have in mind. The Luotsi shawl, again from the Urban Knits books. Sorry, I'm butchering the Finnish names here. I think that's very pretty. It's a design that's made up of different stitches, and it's going in a sort of chevron design from one side to the other, which I think looks very interesting. This shawl pattern is a little bit more modern, but I think it looks really pretty and would fit and go with a lot of outfits that I have. The other idea I have was from Mandarine. Oh, sorry. It's the Moonlight Garden Mandarines. Sorry, from Mandarines. It's the Moonlight Garden shawl, and that one is a lot more, I'd say, sort of like pretty and classic in design. A lot more romantic. You have a lot of lace work with it, and it's not in a triangular shape. It's kind of like a half circle. Which I think again would drape very lovely and fit with a lot of the dresses that I have. So yeah, I think either of those would go really well, and I think maybe the shawl from the Urban Knits book would go a bit more with jackets or so later on in fall. Whereas I think the Moonlight Garden one is really just one to drape around, but both of them look really nice. And I know that the Moonlight Garden one, I could use the Drops Nepal yarn, which, as you guys might know, is one of my absolute favorite yarns. So yeah, we'll see. I was going to make the Moonlight Garden shawl a while ago for a relative as a present, but I found the instructions really hard to get on with. It's not a charted pattern, it's all written down, and I think that's so much harder to follow than any charted pattern is. But I'm sure I can wrap my head around. It's been a while since then, and I've gained more skills, so yeah, either of those I think would be really pretty and a great addition to my wardrobe. The next thing is a pair of gloves. I've got the penny gloves, but as you know, they are like fingerless, and I need a big fat sturdy pair of gloves. And I've seen a few where you can, I think Rilla Ruth is doing quite a few different designs, and she's felting the wool, which seems like a very scary prospect. But I think if you do a test piece and you know exactly what setting you're going to put your wash on and so on, then is a crunch rolled felting. But yeah, those designs look really lovely. Just it doesn't even need to be having fingers, like mittens are absolutely fine, but just something warm to push the pram, to go out for a walk. I think it's just too late now to do any of that, but for next year, mittens are on my list, definitely. And I would love to use some techniques like felting just to broaden my horizon and learn a bit more. The other thing, there's 2 more things on the accessory list, and they are 2 things from PetiteKnit. The first one is the French market bag, which I think is just such a lovely, easy, chic, never gonna go out of style type of handbag. And I think it's the perfect summer accessory. It's just going to go with any type of dress that you're wearing, any type of like shorts and top. It's, I think, timeless, classic, will go with anything. You just need it in your wardrobe. So that's at the top of my list for summer accessories. And then the other thing that I wanted to knit is the honeycomb pillow. It was actually supposed to be a Christmas present for somebody, but I ordered the backing of the pillow from her website, and it hadn't arrived until January because we had a lot of Royal Mail strikes. So I think it just got lost and forgotten a bit in that. So it took ages to come. It didn't come before Christmas, and I just couldn't face doing all the prep, all the work for the exam and so on, and then also finding the fabric and the zipper and sewing everything, getting the sewing machine out. So I was just like, no, it's not happening. She's gotta get something else. But so I still have the backing now, and I have the wool for it, so I do intend to make it. But yeah, I think it's gonna be an interesting idea to try and sew your knit together and make a little pillowcase of it. And like I said, I've got the wool and the backing for it, so I may as well just make it now. And yeah, those are all the accessories that I was planning on making. Next up on the list, how about we go into cardigans? I have a few cardigans, and the one that I really love is the Sunday cardigan by PetiteKnit. But I've made it, I think it was my 3rd piece that I have ever made, and I think it shows. When you look closely, you can see that I've made some mistakes in the construction, and it's not as sort of like finely knitted as it would be now. It's definitely not a piece that I'm proud of, but I love wearing it. It's so warm and absolutely cozy because you use 2 strands of mohair with another yarn. With an ironweed yarn, so it's absolutely warm and lovely and just nice to sink into. So I think I'd love to make that one again with a different type of yarn, maybe even a size up to be extra cozy and long. But I love it. It looks so good as well on me and goes with a lot of outfits. It's perfect for wearing outside as well. You don't need a jacket with it. So that one would be nice to redo, even though I've got it already. Another one on my list that I want to redo in a different colorway is the cardigan number 7 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. It's a very simple raglan cardigan with picked up stitches for a button band, a rounded neckline. It looks very simple and understated, but I think that's why it fits so well with loads of outfits, and it's a great staple to have in your wardrobe. I'm not entirely sure what colorway I'd want to go for. Right now I have one that's a lighter base yarn and then a sort of light beige mohair with it, so it gives a speckled effect, which is pretty. And then I also haven't done any decreases for the arms to leave them like as balloon sleeves. I think the next one I definitely want to do the decreases and maybe do it 3/4 length like it is in the pattern, or just go all the way down the arm. But yeah, I'm not sure what colorway I'd like, but it's a great staple to have, so I definitely want to do it again. Then something I really need and should probably start before anything else is a cardigan that goes with dresses. Something that's maybe cropped up until the waist or just below it. That maybe I'm thinking like a mohair or something really soft and pretty. Maybe a wrap type of cardigan, I don't know, something that goes with dresses. I've got loads of long dresses that go over the knee, I like things that are going in at the waist a bit, so something that would complement that. I've seen Tiffany from Typical Bliss knit the Jenny jacket, or like half sleeve over the Jenny jacket, because it seems like such a long project, but it looks so pretty, and she's got it in this really lovely white that's just a little creamy white. Absolutely love it. I think that would be a great jacket to have to wear with like that fancier clothes, but I think that's a big project and I don't think I want to commit. So something in a mohair, maybe a wrap, I don't know, I don't have anything specific in mind. If you have suggestions, please leave them in the comments, but that's at the top of my list because I wear a lot of dresses in summer, but sometimes you just need a little bit of extra because it's getting a little bit cold, it's a bit windy. A nice cardigan would be lovely for that. And the other thing that's on my list, I've just called it a woolly hug cardigan. So if you know, you know. Something that's really big, cozy, warm, that you can just sink into. It has to go like definitely over my bum. It has to be really thick. It has to have pockets. Those are the absolute musts. I want a hug of a cardigan. I thought I had found it and I've made it, and it was, I can't even remember the name of the design. It was a cardigan. It was a kit from, I think, Wool and the Gang. And it's a big fat oversized cardigan made with the fat chunky wool that they have, but it was absolutely terrible to knit. I hate knitting with chunky needles. I've just found out that this is not for me, and it was knitted flat as well, so you had to seam everything together in the end, which I hated as well. So I'm not a fan of that. And then it doesn't have pockets, and there's like a stitch that I didn't pick up for the button band, so there's now a weird sort of like cut out at the end. And also the wool, it's not fully spun. I don't know what the technique is also that they've used for it, but it piles like crazy, absolutely crazy. It looks really worn and a bit worse for wear very quickly, and you have to constantly comb it. Not a fan, too much upkeep. So she's not it. Two of the patterns that I have in mind for this hug of a cardigan is the November jacket from PetiteKnit again. I really want to try it as well because it's using brioche, which I haven't tried before. Again, Tiffany from Typical Bliss has made it, and go by her report, it seems to be a bit of a struggle as well because it's a big project, and I think it's on 4mm as well, so, and brioche on 4mm. So it's gonna take a while, but it's okay if this is a project that's gonna take me all year. That's fine. We just need it by next winter. Another one that I've thought would be a really lovely one. Let me just look at my notes again. Yeah, it's called the Silly Cardigan. Again, from the Urban Knits book. I'm not entirely sure what the stitch is that she's used there, but it looks very interesting and intriguing as well. And it's again that big hug of a cardigan. It's got pockets and even a little belt. And I think the way she styled it in the book is really cool as well. And she's done a longer version that goes, I think, just above the knee, and then a bit of a shorter version that just goes below the bum. And they're both really pretty. So I'm not sure which one I'm gonna make, but either of those two are what I'm thinking. And that's all that I've written down for cardigans this year. So like I said, maybe reknit a few that I've made before, just make them a little bit nicer with a bit of a better skill set now. And then definitely cardi for a dress and a hug of a cardigan. Absolute. Okay, next on the list, sweaters. I love knitting sweaters because I love knitting them around. I think it's going by a lot quicker, a lot easier, and loads of them use stockinette stitch, so you can just watch TV, knit. But I also want to venture a bit. I want to try out different stitches, different constructions, broaden those skills, learn a bit along the way. So the first thing that I have on my list, and the first sweater that I definitely want to knit is the Arctic Light sweater by Putowa Kika. I think she just brought it out in December of last year, so it's quite fresh and new. Beautiful cabling, really pretty, intricate, love everything about it. I was so obsessed with making the Moby sweater. I've made it for my daughter and then saw it and loved the way it's constructed, loved the cabling. I think it's quick as well. You wouldn't think, because you think, oh my god, there's so many different things to do all the time, but it goes by really quickly. I think because there are so many different things and you're like, I'll just do this extra bit here, up until that, and then you just kind of keep going and going. Yeah, so I was obsessed with the Moby sweater. I was definitely set on making it for myself as well, but then I saw the Arctic Light sweater and I thought, oh, this looks that little bit nicer, more intricate, more romantic. I just love it. I have to have it. So Arctic Light sweater really up top. Then something else that I wanted to knit for a while, and I had bought wool for it and then I've used it for a different project, is the Marseille sweater by PetiteKnit. It's a really interesting construction. So the way I started it, and then I basically got tendonitis and I couldn't knit for months and months and months, and then I had no idea where I left off. Just unraveled it and I decided to use the wool for something else, the festival sweater, which I really wanted to knit at that time. So the Marseille sweater is still at the top of my list, and it was a really interesting construction that it started with, which I've never used before. So I'm still really intrigued, and I just love the shape of it, the drop shoulders. And I wanted to do pink stripes. I think that's just going to go a bit more with what my wardrobe needs. And yeah, I don't know what else there's to say about it, but I think really lovely, interesting construction. Definitely going to teach me a lot. And again, like, her stuff is just so timeless, so classic. I think it fits and flatters a lot of shapes. So Marseille sweater, still want to do it. Have to buy new wool for it again, but definitely gonna be interesting. Something that just really looks lovely, and I think I'm just intrigued to try out the technique again, is the September sweater, again by PetiteKnit. I love how the construction kind of how the seams sort of run along the neckline and then join in the body. I think that looks very sophisticated from a knitting technique point of view. And it looks like a really pretty sweater. Another two sweaters which are from PetiteKnit that I would really love to make are the Louvre sweater. Lovely construction again, like the constructions, the sort of the designs, they look so simple and so kind of timeless. Like I can make it and wear it now and it looks chic and beautiful, and I'm sure in like 20 years time that sort of style and look will still be chic and beautiful, you know. So yeah, the Louvre sweater in I don't know, maybe like, do I want a dark grey or do I want to go with a beige? I don't know, just like a sort of a neutral color, I think is definitely the way to go for that one. And then the other one I love is the Wednesday sweater. I need a turtleneck. I've looked at this one or the terrazzo sweater, but I think just a little bit of a chunkier fall into it turtlenecks will never go out of style. Just something really warm, big, fat for winter here when you need to cozy up because it's cold outside and you can't afford to heat your flat. Oh dear. Yeah, something to cozy into with a turtleneck. That would be lovely. Okay, and the camera cut off. Oh, I forgot, it's only recording for 27 minutes at a time. Why? I don't know. Okay, we're back. I was just progressing my love for turtlenecks. So yeah, classic, timeless, gonna go with anything and everything that you wear. Cozy and warm for those cold nights. And I just want something that's maybe on big needles. That's why the Wednesday sweater, it's on the bigger needles. I forgot which size, but just something that's a bit of a hug, and bigger needles means probably going to be quicker to do. And loads of the other things that I was thinking about making have got 4mm, which is going to take a lot more time. So I thought I'd throw in something chunky to have a bit of progress and a quick success to make you feel like you're getting somewhere. So So yeah, a turtleneck would be lovely. And then, oh, I was saying as well, loads of designers who've been around for a few years have got turtlenecks in their collections, but there's something about the way that she constructed hers that just appeals more to me. It's just a little bit more simple, yeah, and easy and classic looking. I don't know. I'm really trying hard to look for other designers and to kind of branch out a bit more and not just be focused on PetiteKnit, but then her stuff is just so pretty and beautiful. It's hard, but I'm trying. I think we're all trying. Okay, so I think that's all the sweaters that I had on my list. So then maybe go on to slipovers. There's two that I found. I'm not sure where I'm sitting with slipovers. I think when other people wear them, they look really cool and chic, and sometimes I just, no, this is not a look. This is not a look. And I don't know where I will fall into, if I'm in the you can pull it off, you're gonna look really cool in it category, or if I'm gonna be in the not for you girl category. But I thought I'll give it a go. They look interesting, and I think they'd be great to style as well. Sometimes it's nice to have something warm on your body, but then have something that's not covering your arms and be a bit cooler on that way. I think they also go well with loads of blouses, and maybe just elevate your work outfit that little bit more. I also love when people wear them just with a t-shirt underneath, so I want to try and see. So I've ordered some yarn, which hasn't arrived yet, but I've ordered some yarn for the snowflake slipover by Cardigan. Let me just double check. Snowflake slipover by Coco Amon. I was looking for something like that. That would be on bigger needles, maybe a bit quicker to do. Love the turtleneck. It's gonna be nice and warm. It's a bit longer as well, not fitted. I think that's a good start. And she's, in the images, she styled it with a long sleeve tight white shirt underneath, which I think is gonna look nice. I've got a really warm heat tech shirt like that from what's it called? Uniqlo. There we go. And that would be lovely to pair with the snowflake slipover. So yeah, wool is ordered, is hopefully gonna come next week, and then I'm gonna swatch and just give it a go. Yeah, and that's gonna pop my slipover cherry. And then the other one I have planned and I've got yarn for is the Stockholm slipover with the rounded neck from PetiteKnit. Again, it looks very classic and timeless, and it looks like it would go a lot with shirts. So I'm seeing that with an oversized white shirt and skinny jean. I think could be a look. Can I pull it off? We will see. But that's on the list because I've got the yarn for it as well. It's from a frock project, from a frocked anchors cardigan, which I decided I could not continue with 3mm needles for an adult size cardigan. No. I didn't love it enough to finish it. So I frocked it a while ago and I still have loads of the yarn left over. So I'm gonna make a Stockholm slipover and see what that's like, because slipovers aren't as much commitment as cardigans are. Yeah, so that's on the list for slipovers. I'll see how it goes. I see how I like them. If I love them, I'll definitely add more to my list, but if not, then no. The last thing I wanted to talk about is summer tops. I don't have big intentions for summer knits. I've got one sort of like summer knit, which is the Anchors Tee by PetiteKnit in linen, and that is actually really lovely to wear. It's great in summer. You don't really sweat in it. It's nice and loose. It drapes really prettily. You can wear it with a lot of things like jeans or shorts, skirts. It really goes well with everything. But I don't know. I'm not really, for summer, my knitwear is really just cardigans, something to layer on top when it gets cold or windy. So I haven't thought a lot about like base stuff for summer, but I've had a look and I'm really into the camisole number 6 from My Favorite Things knitwear. I think, again, lovely construction. I think it would really flatter a female figure in specific. And I like that it's a top, not a tee, because I don't have any tops like that knitted. So I think I'll give that one a go. Probably gonna go with a cotton or linen yarn. I'll see if anybody has done any kind of linen or cotton versions of it on Instagram, see if there's any inspiration, anything I like. Then the other thing I was thinking I should probably finish, because I've got the yarn for it and I bought it 2 years ago, is the Cumulus blouse by PetiteKnit. Like I said, I have the yarn. It's a silk alpaca one by Sandnes Garn in a lovely sort of like champagne color. Would be really pretty to knit with. Just have to do it. It's going to be a commitment because it's teeny tiny yarn. It's going to be the 3mm that I need. I know it already, but it looks so nice, and I think it'd be very lovely to have in my wardrobe. But yeah, 3mm. I don't like when projects go on for too long. I know loads of people have these projects in their bag for like months and months and years, and they just hack away at it every now and again and then put it away and then continue again. I can't leave stuff for that long. Even what I'm like still knitting on right now, it's like itching me that it's been in my bag for such a long time and I haven't finished it. I like to maybe have a couple of things, something small that I can take on the go, or something big that I can just knit at home, something in stockinette where you can just watch TV. But I just can't leave things for too long. Just like I need to finish, I need to move on and then start something new, but not just start. Also because I'll forget where I stopped and then I just can't remember how to pick up again. And I'll leave my needles and all. I don't know how people do it. I don't know. But yeah, guys, that's everything that I plan on knitting. It's major ambitious, I know. We'll see what gets done. I do have a few sort of priorities that I would like to knit, and also this list hasn't included any gifts that I want to knit, any baby stuff that I need to knit. Although I shouldn't say baby anymore. She's 1 now, so going into toddlerhood, so any kids stuff that I want to knit. Yeah, but we'll see. I think it's great though to have a bit of attention. Those are things that my wardrobe would benefit from, things that I really like, and some things I actually need in my wardrobe. And so yeah, going into it with intention this year, and we'll see what patterns come along that just steal my heart and then just have to be made. Like the Moby sweater last year. But yeah, let me know what you guys want to knit this year. What's absolutely top of your list, what needs to get done, has to happen, what do you want to knit, what yarns do you want to use. I'm super interested to hear what you guys are going to make, and then let's hope there's going to be a lot of knitting this year, a lot of fun, sharing all the projects, seeing what people are making, getting inspired by it. Yeah, and also besides all of the stuff that I want to do from other people, there's also a few things that I want to do from my own creative brain, and see how it is to design your own knitwear and go through that entire process. So now that I have time again and brain space again to do these things, they are definitely going to be made. So thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you in the next video, and let me know what you guys are going to knit this year. Bye!